Stadium in Milan, Italy, one of the sites of World Cup 1990. You've got Milan and Juventus, two of the strong teams in Italian football. Last year, Milan won the title. Juventus finished just 8 points behind them in second place. This is the 6th edition of the Berlusconi Trophy, and Mike, Juventus won the first and the last. Milan won the ones in between.
Yes, Juventus have got a good record, haven't they? 2 finals, they've won it twice, but of course last year it went through a penalty shootout. Neither side could break the deadlock. Both these teams, they know each other's play so well. The interesting thing today, of course, is that there are so many new players. Certainly they're all making their debut in the Berlusconi Trophy, but it's going to take time for both these teams to really gel.
The biggest surprise last year, Mike, with all of the firepower on the two sides, they couldn't score a goal in 90 minutes. Perhaps that'll change today. There's Alan Boksic, one of the newcomers brought into the Juventus side. As Mike said before, you'll see several newcomers today. There's an old face, Maldini, leading his team out. Let's check out the starting lineups for Milan. You won't see Baggio or Weah today. Both of them are nursing injuries, but Mike, this is still a star-studded lineup.
Yes, they've got their 2 new Dutch sign-ins. Michael Reisiger and Edgar Davids. Marcel Desailly, of course, had such a great Euro 96 for France, but then you've got Paolo Maldini at the back there organising things and captain in AC Milan. This is a very good all-round side. And you think Baggio and Weah still to come back.
Juventus, they have to apologize to no one for their lineup as well. They are very strong. That's Conte exchanging greetings with Franco Baresi, the 2 captains. There's the Juventus lineup, and a lot is on the shoulders this year of number 10, Del Piero.
Yes, the young man who started off last year in sensational fashion. He faded towards the end of the season. He had a disappointing Euro 96, but another year of experience for him. He's going to be a key player for them. And also, of course, Zidane, the French international, another new signing. He's going to be also very instrumental for Juventus in midfield.
Piero Ceccarini is your referee, and his assistants Zuccolini and Di Stadino.
And Ceccarini, a very experienced referee. He's 42 years old. He's actually a financial consultant when he's not looking after 22 players on the pitch.
There's Boksic, number 9. 2 is Ferrara. Temperature is 27 degrees Celsius, and the forecast is clear right now. The field in good condition. There's Savicevic. A lot of great players you'll see out there today. 7 on the Milan side played in Euro 96, 7 of their starting 11, and that's with a couple of big guys out, representing 4 countries: Italy, France, Holland, and Croatia. Is this his last year, Mr. Baresi?
Well, that's the rumor around, but I mean, he's 36 years old now, Franco Baresi, but I think the signing of Edgar Davids is perhaps letting us into the way that the club is thinking, that Desailly might be the player to replace Baresi, and Davids coming into midfield to replace Desailly. But Baresi always seems to confound everybody. I mean, 36, he's still going strong, led this team last year to the Scudetto, so you should never write him off.
He still reads the game well, but no question he's a step slower. Ceccarini making sure everybody's ready before the kickoff. Juventus and Milan, 2 of the great names of Italian soccer. 38 Italian championships won combined by the 2. 13 Italian cups were underway. Pesotto. Cleared out of the back by Milan in red. Juventus in the blue uniforms. Here they come. Down the left wing. Christian Vieri. Chased by Reisiger. There's the cross. Cleared out by Maldini. Juventus back with possession. From the right side, Mark Giuliano's pass is cleared away by Milan. Ferrara is 2. To the back for Montero. And this one goes out.
One thing we haven't mentioned, JP, is of course is that AC Milan now have a new coach this season. Washington Tavares taking over from Fabio Capello. It's going to be interesting to see if he's changed anything about this team.
Maldini in the throw-in. Cleared up by number 11, Costa Curta. Back at the other end. Maldini lets it go for Rossi. We're in the 2nd minute of the first half. It's scoreless as Rossi finds Reisiger. On the 3rd touch, it'll be Simone's turn. Nowhere to go. He makes the cross, but it's right at the keeper.
Yeah, Marco Simone is always a player who's played second fiddle here at AC Milan. Firstly behind Marco van Basten, and of course last year behind George Weah.
Cut out by Costa Corta. You see the dangerous Boksic there. Milan had plenty of players back. They'll bring more players back to compensate for Baresi's loss of speed.
Yes, I think we're already seeing now that Desai is playing a lot deeper than we're used to seeing him playing, with Edgar Davids pushing more into a midfield role, or further infield than normal.
Desai just applauded Davids' effort to find him on that pass, but it was offside. Pesotto will have a throw-in. You saw Boban during Euro '96 for Croatia.
Yes, most people felt he had a disappointing Euro '96. He didn't stamp his authority on any of the games for Croatia.
Pesotto taken away, stripped by Desai. He kept it alive. Albertini. Back for Rossi. Another offside.
It's Christian Vieri, another new signing for Juventus, came from Atalanta. Son, of course, of a famous Juventus player from the past, Roberto Vieri.
On the back, Costa Corta to Baresi. Baresi's pass didn't have that much on it. He'll get another crack. Davids can't get through. Albertini off the chest trap. He too played in Euro '96 for Italy, who didn't go through, despite the fact that they didn't play bad soccer at all. Boban. Strip, but he recovers. Scoreless game, 4th minute. Boban sends it long. Savicevic against Pesotto. Juventus wins that battle. Here's Del Piero on his first foray with a ball, and it's knocked out. All the way to the back. 5 is Montero, a newcomer from Montevideo, Uruguay. Juventus with some possession. And the last pass fails him. Reisiger's header picked off. Ferrara, number 2, sends it wide to the right side. 4 is Giuliano. Giuliano going long ball. Baresi is back. It's not hit by the area. When you're 36, that hurts even more.
Yes, Christian Vieri bundling into Nico Baresi that time. Rather untidy challenge, no damage done though.
Davids to the outside, to Desai. Reisiger. It's going to be interesting when some of the other players come back, including Panucci, who has been injured. That's Panucci's spot on the right side where Reisiger's playing. Some feel that maybe Panucci and Reisiger will both end up playing.
Yes, a lot of people are second-guessing at the moment, but Milan over the years have always been able to juggle their squad of players and keep the players happy and still come up with successful teams.
Pesotto, number 3. He'll get it back from Zidane, and it's busted up by Albertini. Boban. Wide to the left. Maldini, the best left back in the world. Everyone will tell you that. Here he comes. Maldini with a cross. Too far for Savicevic, but he'll catch up to it. Try to beat 3 players on that side. Here's Juventus in blue on the attack. Played long by Del Piero. To the right side, Vieri has a step on the defense. Save Rossi.
Christian Vieri there, denied by the goalkeeper, but what a marvellous through ball from Alessandro Del Piero. And good brave goalkeeping there. It was just a reflex in the end, just to stick his arm up. That was enough to stop Christian Vieri.
Good recovery run, too, by Edgar Davids to maybe alter that shot somewhat. Here he comes chasing.
He was just running away there from Christian Vieri. And you can see there, Rossi just spreading himself as well.
On the corner kick, sent wide. Boksic was open.
Zidane there trying to volley that first time. Came across in the corner, just a little bit too high for him. In the end, it nearly turned out to be a good pass for Boksic.
He could have taken claim for a brilliant assist, couldn't he? Here's Reisiger. Costa Corta back to Rossi. Maldini, 8th minute. Scoreless game between Milan in red and Juventus in blue. Giuliano's header, that goes out of play. Maldini on the throw. He's played on the last 2 Italian World Cup sides, 90 and 94, Maldini has. Some thought Maldini's dad could become the next head coach of Italy if Sacchi gets fired, but Maldini's team did not do well in the Olympics.
No, I think a lot of people that were asking or trying to lobby him to become coach now have lost a lot. Arrigo Sacchi's going to be there till the end of the year. A lot of people feel, though, that if he loses the Italian job, Arrigo Sacchi will be back here at AC Milan.
Bowman, the intended receiver, will make it Davids on that wing. Here's Zidane. Had the great career last 4 years with Bordeaux, but had a very miserable Euro '96. Has a long way to go, but he got there. Michael Reisiger, the former Ajax star defender, it goes out. Juventus ball. So far, Milan have yet to find Simone, and we remember games where Simone got the chance to shine. Great speed, finds the open spaces, works well with Savicevic, but so far they've not gotten that far.
If you give Marco Simone the opportunity, he's got a very good strike rate in Serie A. Scored some 8 goals last season as well, with very limited opportunities in the first team. But with George Weah out for at least a couple of weeks, and with AC Milan at the weekend playing in the Italian Super Cup, it's a great opportunity for Marco Simone to perhaps cement a spot in this side.
10th minute. Scoreless game. This is the Berlusconi Trophy. Reisiger and Boksic both going down. It can get physical even during the preseason.
Alan Boksic coming in there and just catching Michael Reisiger. Studs was showing. And the referee gives the free kick for AC Milan. As you say, though, it might be a pre-season game, but as that opening whistle goes, there's always that pride whenever these two teams play. They've dominated Italian football, some 38 championships between them.
Oddly enough, that was the first foul, but I'm sure you'll see many, many more. It's been a pretty free-flowing game here in the 11th minute, still scoreless.
The other thing, of course, though, it is pre-season, and players really in these games are working on making sure their timing comes correct. So we'll most probably see a few challenges where the time is not quite right.
And you'll always hear the whistles when it's played back to the goalkeeper.
And you consider that AC Milan are the home side.
Rossi has won 4 titles with this Milan side. He won 4 out of the last 5 titles in Italy.
He's a very underestimated goalkeeper. It's very, very dependable. Many people feel that it's rather unfortunate not to have played for the national side.
Our 3rd foul of the game.
He's had all that time against Vieri.
Knocked away by Juventus, but Pasotto can't get it. And it goes out off Costa Corta. Alan Boksic, one of the transfers, came over from Lazio. Busy transfer season, that Bosman ruling had a huge effect on all the leagues.
Boxic and Vieri at the moment combining well because they're switching positions. Vieri is popping up on the left and the right and going through the centre forward channel. It's causing a few problems for Milan because nobody's quite sure which one they're picking up.
That was our worst foul as Del Piero went down.
And a clumsy challenge from behind from Boban. Very little chance there of winning the ball cleanly.
Juventus with a free kick in the 13th minute. Scoreless game. Milan and Juventus battling for the Berlusconi trophy. Right side, Boxic. He was double teamed, no chance to make a successful cross, but help is on the way. David's battling there and bringing down Del Piero. If Del Piero could have got out of that pile. Now it's getting interesting. Well, they brought the crowd into the game, Mike.
Yes, Del Piero caused a few problems. See here, David's. Defender's always in an awkward position there because you can see there it was the striker that was backing into the defender, but you often see the free kick go the other way.
Boxic couldn't get that. Boban with a good clear off the header. Zidane. Boban. Simone chasing. Cleared back by Montero. Back to the keeper. He gets it away from Simone. That was Peruzzi to Pesotto. Taken away by Costa Corta. Boban. Long ball. On the wrong side of Savicevic. It goes out. Scoreless game between Milan and Juventus in the 14th minute.
One player we haven't seen much of so far is Savicevic, and he is such a key man for AC Milan. I will say that when he plays well, Milan plays well. He's come across now to take this corner. Desai's gone forward. He's so strong in the air.
Played inside. Desai can't get to it. Vieri. Conte chasing it. He was one of those players on the Italian World Cup squad of '94, number 6, Antonio Conte. That's Marcel Desailly, the only player to play in back-to-back European Cup finals where the sides won 2 championships with Marseille and then Milan. 4 players have played on 2 teams that have won it, but only Desailly on back-to-back winners.
That's one of the other players who have played on 2 winning teams also playing out there. That's Savicevic, played for Red Star Belgrade as well as AC Milan when they won it.
Going back to the keeper, Sebastiano Rossi.
We saw in Euro '96 that Marcel Desailly played a more deeper role for France. In fact, he played as a sweeper's role. But
Champions League is starting again, Mike, in September. But before we start it, there's another qualifier between Dynamo Kiev and Rapid Vienna. Check your local listing for the exact time in your area. Only one of those teams will make it to the Champions League, which starts September 11th here on ESPN.
Desailly, though, he plays more defensively for France, plays in fact as a sweeper, and it's evident today that he's playing a lot deeper. He's involved in that challenge there and a little bit of shirt tugging as well. Of course, we're used to seeing him in a more midfield role for AC Milan, but that's not happening today.
5 total fouls now is what we're up to after about 10 minutes of a foul-free game. That's Simone. Pesotto's throw in. Sent back by Zidane to Del Piero. All the way back to the keeper. Peruzzi, Italy's #1 keeper. He replaced Gianluca Pagliuca in goal. Edgar Davids is back. Desai, Baresi. Tough foul from behind on Paulo Montero.
Signing for Juventus this season, Montero. Born in Montevideo. Last year with Atalanta.
Coming back flag was up anyway. Savicevic looks at the linesman.
He just mistimed his run that time. Savicevic, in fact, pushed him a lot further forward than we anticipated. He likes operating usually just behind the front two strikers.
Yeah, his role has changed today with Weah not playing. We told you at the top, Weah and Baggio out with injury problems. Baggio's not as serious as Weah's, but even Weah's, they only expect him to miss maybe 2 weeks. Down the wing. Across, they were looking for Vieri. And it's deflected over the bar by Costa Curta.
Juventus will use this ploy quite regularly now because they've got Boxic and they've got Vieri, two very strong players in the air. That time, though, Costa Curta got there, but he had to concede the corner.
This one is outside of the box, headed down and won by Juventus. Montero gave it up to Giuliano, number 4. We have passed the 18-minute mark. Milan and Juventus are scoreless. Outside of the box, Del Piero bends it inside, but it's right at the goalkeeper Rossi. But he can score from there, and he can bend the ball as well as anyone on the field today.
We've seen some marvellous goals from Alessandro Del Piero from similar positions. That time, though, Rossi was awake to the situation. He didn't quite get the height that he wanted. But the worry for Milan would be that he actually found that yard of space that he did need.
The Santos clearance. Close to a high foot that time, but no call against Del Piero. Baresi, 20 years with the same club, Franco Baresi. Not many players can speak about 20 years, let alone with the same team.
A great servant for Milan.
Here's Maldini. Knocked all the way back. Given up to Albertini by Davids. Coming back, Simone, and paying the price on that last foul was Marco Simone.
He's been in the wars in this first half. He's caught that time, not for the first time he's had his legs taken from under him.
Remember when he used to wear the white shoes, so he was easily recognizable? He's kind of camouflaged it a bit with the dark shoes, but they're finding him today anyway. Here's Reisiger. Broken up. Cleared away by Tacchinardi to Zidane. Zidane allowed himself to be overrun by the ball by a very aggressive Desailly. Teammates for France during Euro '96. One played well, one didn't.
Love lost out there now, though, but I'm sure after the game it will all be forgotten.
If they all had played like Desailly, France would have gotten farther. But Zidane was a huge disappointment. Here's Tacchinardi. Straight up the middle, Montero. Tackled away again by Desailly. On the counter. Here's Simone with speed. Blows by one defender. Simone is stopped by the keeper. Peruzzi equaled the Rossi save earlier.
Great run by Simone. Terrible finishing, though. He should have done a lot better. He didn't really seem to get the power behind the shot. A mistake by Juventus in midfield. Montero lost the ball. And they were in trouble from that point on.
Conte fouls Reisiger. I think Conte got away with something. You could see his arm going up there more than a tactical foul. Before, though, you got your first opportunity to see the real speed of Simone. It's very deceptive. He was even behind the defender at one point, and then just blew by him.
Yes, he'll be disappointed with the finish. As we see here, he's getting away from the defender. He just tried to place it with the inside of his foot and really didn't get the power, perhaps, in that position. So he just blasted that one.
It's more of a hockey save, isn't it, than a football save?
Rossi will just be happy that he kept the ball out of the net.
Maldini. Broken up by Zidane. Paolo Maldini again. Made his debut with the club side at the age of 16, did Maldini. At 19, he was an international player. Heisiger. You don't want to give Savicevic room. Slots it through. The turn by Boban. Somebody's open. It's Davic. And quickly Juventus plugs the hole, shuts the door. Here they come. Zidane. How quickly these teams, both of them, come back on a counter. Boxic leads. That should be a penalty. Del Piero was clipped from behind, taking away a scoring chance.
Well, that was a great ball through from Boxic, and it'll be interesting to see that incident again.
He got clipped.
Well, certainly looking at the replay, there was a good call there for a penalty. It wasn't given. But the ball from Boxic there completely opened up the Milan defence.
Tacchinardi to Conte. Back for Montero. Going long. Oh, Maldini. Was he guilty? Not according to the referee. But if he didn't call the last one, Mike, he's probably not going to call that one either.
I don't think he's going to call any now.
Well, it's pre-season, but you still got to call him.
Olivieri was the player who was bundled down that time.
Savicevic with the magical left foot. Almost found Boban coming through.
A push and a trip.
Yeah, I was going to say, which one would you take? I'd say either. Or in this case, neither.
I think Juventus can feel a bit aggrieved at the moment. Two good penalty appeals that have been turned down.
The referee is Piero Ceccarini, and he's letting it go. Boxic on the throw-in. Tacchinardi. That push is on Costa Corta. Quick restart. Zidane. Oh, he had a player open, too.
They're trying to play it a little bit too quickly, actually. Perhaps taking an extra touch.
I'm not sure what that is, but the foul is going to be called. Savicevic says on me. Perché, which in Italian is why. Coming back. Del Piero. It's getting rougher out there. Desai up the middle. Off the touch. Savicevic, had he continued his run, might have gotten to that, but there's a foul called anyway. On Chiro Ferrara. Milan with the ball on the free kick. Just shy, or maybe just over the halfway line now. Desai from Costa Corta. Here's a knock and a break, perhaps. Simone, save, rebound. Simone scores. And it appears as if they're going to take it away from him. No goal. Incredible.
Well, in fact, I think he's been penalised for doing some pushing.
I would have to see that one again. That looked like an electrifying score, but they've got the foul for Simone on an apparent push. Will we see it?
Well, there's the ball played through. And Ferrara, the defender and the striker, I mean, that's the sort of challenge that happens 100 times in a game.
That is shoulder to shoulder, nothing more. Bad call again. Well, it's a good thing for Ceccarini that this is pre-season, because he'd be taken to the cleaners for missing 2 penalties and letting a good goal come away.
And this, of course, is just the first of what I'm sure is going to be a number of meetings this season between these two sides. That's an awkward back pass.
That is always dangerous.
Because they will meet twice in Serie A. Of course, they're both in the UEFA Champions League. Juventus as the holders, AC Milan as the Italian champions. It's looking on the rounds of possibilities that these two teams could actually be battling the Champions League final.
The expanded Champions League this year. More teams, more games. is it next year with the more teams?
Next year they're saying they're going to increase it to
32.
24 was the last figure I've heard from the current 16. There's still some discussions on how they're going to fill in all the extra fixtures, but it's such a crowded fixture list now for all the clubs, and not only with European competition but also with World Cup qualifying.
It's called revenue. Right side, maybe a break here. Played across. Never made it. Del Piero was tied up by Baresi. Baresi says Del Piero was holding my shirt. Del Piero might think otherwise.
It seemed like 6 of one, half dozen the other, really, didn't it? But it nearly got across there to Boxic, who was waiting. One thing you notice about this game, there's a lot more pace to it than you expect in a pre-season match.
Zidane, an awkward settlement, lost it to Albertini. Well, the later we go into these games should be getting better because they're getting ready for the regular season. We've seen these teams earlier, and you can see some of the rust is now worn off, and they are getting sharper.
The shot there of Albertini. He seems to have been around for so long with AC Milan, but in fact he'll be 25 this coming Friday.
Here's Albertini, number 4. Milan in red of the break, cut off by Montero. Conte in trouble. Chased by Davids, who's now patrolling on that side. After playing a good part of this first half on the opposite side. And now there he is. He's covering a lot of ground. Savicevic can't get free. Cleared out of the back by Juventus. Boxic. Holding has help. Left-footed shot was blocked. This is the Berlusconi Trophy game from San Siro Stadium in Milan, Italy. Milan's in red, Juventus in blue. It is scoreless in the 30th minute, along with Mike Hill. I'm John Paul Della Camera. Hope you're enjoying Italian football. The summer series continues on ESPN.
We've had half an hour played, and there certainly seems to be a different attitude and a different set of tactics now that AC Milan are playing under their new coach, Tabares. The perhaps more patient style of Fabio Capello seems to have been replaced. This is more all-action. Players are now encouraged to swap positions, defenders to get forward, forwards to get play deep as well.
Here's Simone, who had an apparent goal taken away earlier for a pushing foul. Zidane coming back. Right side, it's Conte. Played long, too long. In fact, it's right back to the goalkeeper, and Rossi will throw to Reisiger. Albertini, one of the World Cup starters in '94 for Italy.
Reisiger settled into this system here at AC Milan very, very quickly. Looks very comfortable down this right-hand side.
Simone can't get through. Tacchinardi on the breakup. Montero is 5. Paulo Montero again plays it long. Juventus has that element to their game, that possession game, and then all of a sudden, after going short, they go long. Fiorentina and Cagliari. Italian football, the summer series continues. Check your local listing for the exact time in your area. Fiorentina led by the great Gabriele Battistuta. Montero. Zidane helps that one along to Del Piero. Conte. Del Piero wants it back on a give and go. Maldini's on him. Got a piece. Baresi gets the rest and loses. Great recovery because Boxic was there. Ciro Ferrara.
He was great to cover at the other end, JP, with Baresi. Only 36 years old, but he thought very quickly that time to get himself out of an awkward situation. Juventus' tactics have also changed this year, of course, with no Ravanelli now and no Vialli. They've got a much more flexible system, and it's interesting that Del Piero is pushing further forward than we anticipated.
Those two guys you talked about, Mike, Vialli and Ravanelli, represented 40% of this team's offense a year ago. 23 out of the 58 goals scored during the regular season. That's a lot to replace, plus their leadership.
Yes, but Vieri and Boxic have both got good reputations. They've both scored goals in Serie A, but they also give them a lot more flexibility. And of course, they're both a lot younger than the two players that have left.
Milan and Juventus scoreless in the 33rd minute. Italian football fans who want to know how Ravanelli and Vialli are doing. Vialli's team, I guess, played to a scoreless draw on the weekend, and all Ravanelli did was score 3 goals in a 3-3 draw.
Yes, and Middlesbrough, Ravanelli's new side, still had to settle for a draw, but he got a hat-trick. What a great way to start his career. And Vialli nearly started off in sensational fashion for Chelsea. In fact, just before the end of their game with Southampton, his shot came back off the woodwork.
Those two guys here on ESPN on the English Premier League games seen here every week. Down the right side, Reisiger, that's the first time he's gone that deep, and that's a weapon. We've seen that with Ajax, and we'll probably see it more with Milan as well.
This is already working out a very good understanding with Albertini and Simone, who really used to sort of just be rather static. He was a centre forward. We've seen a lot more movement out of him, and this time it was Simone coming back who took a player with him, which allowed the space there for Reisiger to come forward.
34th minute, scoreless game. Milan and Juventus, all kinds of firepower, but no scoring so far. Remember last year, it was a scoreless draw between these two sides. It went on to penalty kicks. Simone leads it. David's on the run. David sends it long. Savicevic couldn't get to it. That was too far in front of him. He likes that effort, though. Savicevic will always let his players know, hey, try that one again.
So he always lets them know when he's happy, but he also lets them know when he's not happy. And David's there did well. It just needed to be pulled back perhaps another yard. And Savicevic would have been in on at the far post.
Savicevic will always give you that thumbs up. Costa Curta came from his defender's spot. It's a long way to go for a foul.
Yes, Costa Curta made a very quite a reputation for himself. He's never been able to play in a final. Of course, he missed the European Cup final through suspension, and then missed the World Cup final for the same reason.
Same year, missed 2 big finals. One his side won 4-0. The other his side lost on penalties. That was the World Cup in '94 to Brazil.
And that 4-0 victory in the European Cup over Barcelona. A lot of people feel it's along with Real Madrid against Eintracht Frankfurt in the early 60s. That was perhaps the best final in the competition, certainly the best in the last 15 or so years.
The referee almost got in the way of that. Ceccarini. Everybody wants to play. Here's Boban. And there goes Boban. No foul called on Boxic. The fans were calling for it. Here's Tacchinardi. Boxic being held. Then Costa Curta lets go. Del Piero. Look at the magic. Left-footed shot, never got it underway. Desai, I thought, clipped him from behind. The referee apparently says he got ball, but if he got all ball, this guy's ankles wouldn't be throbbing, or the backs of them.
Well, it was an important challenge from Desai.
Desai's a rock. 37th minute, scoreless game. Pesotto, 14 fouls. They are even at 7. Boxic couldn't get the pass through. All the way back at the other end. Simone against 3 in blue. And he forced a bad clearance. That's Giuliano coming back. Desai, actually born in Ghana.
It's a warm night in Milan. The humidity is very high as well. It's a credit at the moment, the pace that this game is being played at.
More bodies hitting the turf. Savicevic says, where's the call there? Here's it down. You know, I haven't seen officiating, Mike, this bad since Euro 96. Simone is still down. He had a goal taken away earlier. Let's see what's taken away this time. Whoa. In any country, that's a foul.
Yes, Montero there with the handoff. Simone.
Straight arm to the face.
He started his career at Como, and he's never had trouble scoring goals wherever he's played. That's Christian Vieri getting some instructions there from Marcello Lippi.
48-year-old Lippi, coming off a great year in which his side won not only the European Cup but also the Italian Super Cup. His counterpart is Oscar Washington Tavares, who is on the hot seat. I mean, when that team has won 4 out of the last 5 titles, and now you come in, Mike, you got to win.
Yes, you certainly have. I mean, everybody said this, though, when Capello took over from Arrigo Sacchi, and, I mean, he was able to do it, but Tavares really is under a coach under a lot of pressure. They expect success here in Milan. They've been getting it so often. And after winning Serie A last season, I mean, their eyes are clearly set. They want the European Cup. Anything less, and they'll look upon it as a failure.
Juventus in blue. This is Giuliano. Playing it long again, but Rossi is there. Reisiger from Albertini. Baresi. Maldini now to Desai. Marcel Desai, almost. That was close. Great vision from Desai, and he almost pinpointed that one through. That time he got hit.
He was knocked down there by his French teammate, Zidane. He just bounced straight back up.
Materialized. It may now. Reisiger cuts it back instead. Albertini hit a bad piece of grass there and bounced awkwardly. Conte wins it back. Giuliano. Boksic. There's Baresi right there. Maldini to Desai. Davids lost that battle to Conte. Ball hit him back in the face.
He also got a knock in the back as well.
And the ball hit him off his own foot. Can't even blame him.
Antonio Conte, the captain now of Juventus, with Gianluca Vialli departing.
Those are big shoes to fill as well, the captain shoes, because Vialli was such an emotional leader.
I think it's a surprise, JP.
Sports Center International comes your way 7 days a week. Check out the latest results and stories from all around the world. They never take a day off. Maldini knocks it out. Juventus ball.
I was going to say that the pitch is starting to cut up, which is rather surprising. It doesn't seem to be affecting Milan at all, but of course they played last week at the Amsterdam Arena, the new stadium in Amsterdam, where the turf really has having a lot of problems. And AC Milan won that 3-0, but they seem to be adjusting better to this rather uneven surface than Juventus are at the moment.
Davids. 42nd minute, it is scoreless. Although I still think it should be a 1-0 Milan lead. If you joined us late, Simone had one taken away for a pushing foul. Replay and even live action made it look just simply like shoulder to shoulder. Here's Costa Corta.
Juventus supporters will also tell you, JP, they should have had a couple of penalties as well.
And I think they'd be right. Another foul. Remember, first 10 minutes of this game, not a single foul. Now they're adding up.
Maldini was caught that time. This was a really late challenge and mailed that one in.
Maldini became a father again during Euro 96, and that was great news, but the bad news was when Italy didn't make it beyond that first round.
It's one of the major surprises. Well, I think a lot of people feel a major disappointment. We never saw the best of Italy.
Coming back. Played across. They wanted Savicevic initially. It was Simone on the pass. Albertini holds. Left foots it across. Desai tied up. Pushed forward by Maldini. He just wanted that more. Back this way. Coverage from Costa Curta. Good idea. Bad pass from Boban. But a nice recovery. Boban scored 1 goal during Euro 96 for Croatia. To the quarterfinals against Germany. Boxic from Del Piero. Another bad decision. Cleared away. Simone. Will never get that. Quick throw by Giuliano. They were looking for Zidane. Instead, Vieri's shot is blocked. Tacchinardi holding. Tacchinardi continues his run, can't get to the ball. Milan will play it wide for Savicevic. Desai. And now Davids. Edgar Davids. He was looking for Albertini. That's as deep as we've seen Albertini penetrate up the middle.
That's the one thing I'm noticing from both sides. In fact, there seems to be a sort of a carefree attitude amongst the way they're playing. Players are sort of interchanging positions. Del Piero now seems to be given the freedom of the park for as far as Juventus is concerned. He's just popping up everywhere. And Albertini, to a certain extent, is doing the same sort of thing now for AC Milan. We're seeing him in a defensive role. We saw him there really leading the charge forward.
Straight up the middle, Juventus in the closing minute, depending on injury time in this first half. Giuliano. We're still looking for the game's first goal. This is some of the best talent money can buy, not just in Italy, but in the world. And we are now into injury time. Boban for Davids, who was sent home by Gus Hiddink from Holland for disciplinary reasons during Euro 96. Not the way he wants to be remembered for it. Desai. Savicevic. Left foot's it through, but it was blocked. Picked up. Simone. Edgar Davids. 1v1 versus Conte. Now it's getting crowded. David still crossing, but right at the keeper, Peruzzi. He had Boban free on the other side, far post.
Yes, he needed to pull the ball back or lift it very high over the goalkeeper there, but just before that, a marvellous try to through ball from Savicevic, which was blocked. But Savicevic starting to come more and more into the game as this first half carried on, and that's good signs for AC Milan.
Your thoughts, Mike, in the first half?
Very enjoyable first. And AC Milan, of course, regaining the championship last season under Fabio Capello. Of course, he's now moved on to Real Madrid.
Piero Ceccarini checks the watch. We're underway, second half. We'll check and see if there are any substitutions in this second 45 minutes. Remember, if it's tied after 90 minutes, right to penalty kicks. Same as last year. Simone, there's some jersey pulling and holding and stretching. All the way back to Albertini, number 4. Milan in red, Juventus in blue. That's Peruzzi. as the second half is just moments old. Along with Mike Hill and John Paul Della the Italian Summer Series continues on ESPN. Albertini gets some help from Davids to win this. Boxic chases, Baresi's got it. Cleared by Maldini. Long ball attempted by Ferrara. It appears as if it's the same 11 for both of these sides. Tough tackle. Boxic had no chance to win that ball against Davids, and Davids saying, why not a yellow card?
Yes, it was rather a reckless challenge, and I think Davids there querying the referee. Boxic making very little attempt there to really get anywhere near the ball.
Zidane picked off. Baresi trying to find Simone. Maldini to Davids. Davids took a clip, but he keeps going, and he's still going. Can't get to this ball, but it's still a throw-in for Milan. It's Mark Giuliano, who began his career in Serie B. Now he's in the big time. Albertini. Costa Corta, now Baresi. Savicevic wants it back. Claims he was detained. Ciro Ferraro, very experienced player. He was the player that went down in the box when they called the foul on Simone on an apparent goal. I don't think it's my imagination. The second half is starting off much rougher than the way the first half ended. Much less. I mean, it's much rougher than the way the first half began.
And there's the challenge by Boxic. This time on Maldini.
And another quick whistle.
Milan, of course, this is their last game before they start their season. Really, the opener, the traditional opener to the Italian season, the Italian Super Cup. They take on Fiorentina on Sunday, the Italian Cup winners. An opportunity for these players just to try to cement their job in the starting lineup.
Here's the big shot, and a nice reaction at the far post off the Reisiger shot. The goalkeeper got there in a hurry.
Well struck that time by Michael Reisiger, who's not known for his goal scoring, but he brought the best out of Peruzzi, and the goalkeeper did well. He just palmed that one around. He's seen in the corner.
Still scoreless corner kick. Milan into the middle. It's headed across. Costa Corta got it over to Boban. Tackled away. Another corner, this time from the opposite end. Short corner. Davids near post, cleared away. Headed back into a corner where no one is for Milan. Signals misread that time between Boban and Davids.
Well, Peruzzi was the hero then for Juventus, denying Michael Reisiger.
Peruzzi's come a long way. He actually came here as the backup to Stefano Tacconi back in '91. Not only is he the starter here, but now also in the national team. That's good progress over a 4 or 5 year period.
Of course, when Juventus actually sold Tacconi, they also signed Rampula. And they expected him to be the first choice. The problem with Peruzzi is that he's not the tallest of goalkeepers, and a lot of coaches feel that he might be susceptible in the end. It's part of the game he's worked on, and he's been very successful over the last couple of seasons.
Reisiger patrolling the right side. Desai. Montero came up high again with the arms. Obvious foul. That's why the crowd's buzzing.
Certainly, Paulo Montero, signing for Juventus, is making his presence felt out there. As well, I'm sure if it's in a competition match, he'd have had his name taken by now.
Savicevic, busted up by Tacchinardi. Boxic,
had a tremendous work rate. Such a strong player, so hard to dispossess. And in the end, they had to resort to foul tactics to stop him.
So it's the first yellow of the day, and it goes to Tacchinardi. They need to do more than that, though, to slow down Desai. Albertini, number 4, in the red of Milan, red and black. Lost it up. That was Davids. Now Desai. He was looking, trying to find an open man. There's Bowman. There's Simone make it on that left side. The referee's coming over for another card. Savicevic.
This is the problem now. The referee is giving out 1 yellow card. I think that's just an even up. It was an untidy challenge from Savicevic. Unfortunately, now the referee could get into that habit now, just giving out yellow cards. In the end, no one's going to turn red.
Zidane. Now Pesotto. No room on that left side. Albertini rising up. Another push, that time by Zidane. That's the second time he's been involved with his ex-French teammate, isn't it?
Yes, he didn't even try to disguise that, did he? I mean, it was a straight push in the back.
Desai watches as that one goes out. Rising, another throw in. Cleared out. Long run back for it. And it's cleared right back to the keeper. Unlike Baresi, Rossi stands very tall at just about 6'6". And he's coming back now to defend.
And did well there just to keep the ball in play. It's a terrible back pass.
The halfway line, picked off. Costa Corta in the air. Now some more help. And Tacchinardi came up high again on Bowman. The flag is up on Juventus. That's Alan Boksic. He was actually on the Yugoslavia World Cup team in 1990. Held in Italy, but he didn't play. He's been around. Used to play with Marseille, who are now, by the way, back in the first division, and they're loaded in that team now. They just got Kapka, the German goalkeeper from Euro '96.
Yes, Marseille, and they made a good start, in fact, to their new French season. Their first 2 games, winning a draw, so it's good to see Marseille back, of course, former European champions who actually were stripped to their title.
They've got Lechkov on that team, Reynald Pedros. Back at the halfway line, here's Baresi. Over 600 games played in Serie A. 3 World Cups for Baresi. Last 2 of which he captained. No longer on the international side. Baresi will give it up. He retired from the international game shortly after World Cup '94. Savicevic. Desai. All the way back from Alvini. Albertini with a missed kick. He was allowed to retrieve it. Desai to Savicevic. Savicevic, right side. Bowman trying to bounce off Montero. Good defense. Montero playing it up. Vieri. Tackle out of play. Costa Corta said it went off blue.
The shades there of the Milan of old, a patient build-up, pressuring in midfield, then all of a sudden that ball forward, and they nearly split open the Juventus defence that time.
Zidane. Now it's picked off. Albertini to Davids. Davids can come from behind. Davids on the chase. Baresi was going too far forward. He may pay the price. Del Piero played it across. I thought the player fell in the box. He was looking for a penalty. That was Vieri, it looked like. But I thought he had fallen.
Antonio Conte there, the captain of Juventus, having a quick word with the referee. Wasn't interested in the penalty appeal.
Well, if that should have been a penalty, that would have been the 3rd one that could have been.
Del Piero there took that one on his chest. The ball was clipped. In the referee's opinion, he might not have been able to keep the ball or get the ball back.
Davids, clipped there. Take your pick. Edgar Davids, a strong player in the central midfield, great defensive midfielder. And his best football is still yet to come. Played well for Ajax the last couple of years. They're going to miss him. Albertini takes free kicks well. Two-man wall set up. Demetrio Albertini.
He's gone forward. He's waiting at the far side of the box.
Here's the bender low. Cleared out. He's trying to find that. One of the forwards up front. Miles here. To Boban. Bad pass. Boxic. Here's the counterattack. A numerical advantage for Juventus. Boxic. Across. Devio. Save. What an outstanding fingertip save for Rossi. Cuts it back. Zidane. Conte again. Montero fires wide. Put that one, Mike, on a highlight film.
Marvelous play this from Juventus. A great move. But in the end, Del Piero denied by a reflex save there from Rossi. Goalkeeper there did so well. Juventus there at their very best. And there's Delivio who's going to come on for Juventus now.
I like Delivio. Outstanding player. Great energy he will bring to this team. Tacchinardi's coming out for Delivio. And also Jugovic will come on. I mean, these are two quality guys to have coming off of the bench.
Yes, Jugovic, a very good player.
See who's coming out for Jugovic, because those are the two subs. Del Piero, so that was his last hurrah, apparently. His last chance at goal.
Well, he could have gone out a hero, couldn't he? Denied there by Sebastian Rossi.
Peruzzi with a clearance. Conte. Jugovic should be able to help Conte out of the midfield. Meanwhile, Delivio with runs in the wings could perhaps stretch that Milan defense.
Yes, I think that's what Marcello is perhaps looking for.
I thought Savicevic came up with a boot that was unseen by the referee. Let's see. And if so, that would have been his second yellow and it'd be gone. Watch his right foot. Bingo.
Yes.
He should be gone.
And you can see there, and the referee actually has got a red card in his hand.
I didn't think he saw it, but I do see a red card out. He should be gone.
You can see there across the court remonstrating with
you know, Savicevic always has the most puzzled look when something goes against him. Should be gone.
Yes, I think he is. And Conte was the first person to react, the Juventus skipper.
We'll try to confirm it, Mike. I don't believe he's been given a red for that. I believe it would have been a second yellow. It didn't seem all that violent a kick. But he is going out. So we'll check that out to see if it was not an initial red, because we were on replay, or a second yellow, which would lead to the red.
Let's have a look at the incident again. Well, I think that deserves a red card anyway, but I also think that the Juventus skipper has been sent off, Antonio Conte. He came rushing in. He reacted to the challenge from Savicevic.
You know, I didn't think it was all that violent, but in that last replay, you know, we're seeing it in slow motion, so it should be a red on its own, even for the sportsmanlike value of it. So Savicevic and Conte both red carded out. Exhibition, preseason, doesn't count for much. Okay. Tell that to the players going to the early showers. Right side, here's Milan. This is going to really open up the game. Two quality players, by the way, tossed. Inside, Simone! What a chance, he can only blame himself.
Well, Peruzzi there was rooted to the spot. As you see this shot come across from Simone. Peruzzi is just standing there. You can see his feet are just anchored. He would have been relieved to see this one gone over. But a marvellously floated ball and a great volley there. Boban was the supplier.
And Bowman may have to do more of that with Savicevic gone. So it is scoreless, but it's a lively game.
Chances at both ends.
Quality saves, some controversy, some ejections, everything but a goal. And I still think we saw one in the first half, but it was taken away from Simone. That time he should have had one on his own. Here's Davids. 10 players each after Savicevic and Conte were red carded around the 60th minute. Switch to the right side for Reisiger. Let's see what Delivio does. So far he's not had a touch of the ball, but now with only 10 players aside, that gives him even more space, and he can run all day. Well, that's Del Piero still out there, so he never left. Maybe it was Vieri that went out. Del Piero still out there on the field. Played long by Juventus. Headed down right to the goalkeeper. Russell. Here's Bowman. Maldini. Oh, Simone. Got taken down by Del Piero. Apologies accepted, apparently. Reisiger. Back the other way. Here is Simone. Hold. Pulling the trigger. Saved by Peruzzi. Vieri. Trying to play it across. And the keeper comes out bravely. Rossi.
It was a dangerous back pass. Olivier. He does give Juventus now a different option, operating wide.
Italian football summer series continues. Two teams looking for better seasons. Bilbao and Napoli, with room for improvement, will meet right here on ESPN. Check your local listings for the exact time in your area. Jugovic still looking for his first touch. Won't get it there. Davids. Oh, plays continuing with advantage call now. The booking.
It's there going down. Caught there by a very late challenge, and it was Ferrara, the player, coming in, and he goes in the referee's notebook.
Ciro Ferrara with a yellow card. Zidane. Zinedine Zidane is the player that has left the game when Jugovic came on, and someone else is going to be leaving. Looks like Amatrano, I believe. That is coming on, yeah. 16. Amatrano for Vieri.
Christian Vieri can be happy with what he's done so far in this game. He's looked very lively up front. He's worked hard. Of course, he's another new signing, so it's going to take a little bit of time to really establish his play with this team. But he can be happy with what he's done in the first half, and I'm sure his father, who's here watching, will also be very, very happy with his performance. Formerly, of course, a great player here with Juventus, Roberto Vieri.
Reisiger chasing. Still scoreless. Remember, if this game is tied after 90, it's on to penalty kicks. Same way it was decided last year when Juventus beat Milan. Here's Delivio. This time he's going up the middle instead of on the wing. Boksic. Boksic holding. Del Piero was wide open. I'm not even sure if he saw him.
But if he did, There's no way I think he could put it through. He had two defenders around him.
Corner kick. Del Piero's going over in the 66th minute. 10 players aside. Savicevic and Conte both red carded. Played across and knocked away by Baresi. Pesotto with the long run, number 3 in blue for Juventus. Jugovic was beside him. It's played back instead. Montero to 16, Emetrano. Giuliano. Possession game back on for Juventus. Jugovic. Delivio is still there in the middle. Albertini chasing. Here is Delivio. Del Piero. Can't bounce away from Desai. Got by 2 other players much easier.
There's no way he decided he was going to let him get past that time. Juventus have now made 3 substitutions, plus with the loss of their captain. And just looking in the last couple of minutes, they now seem a little bit disjointed. The crispness that we saw earlier just is not there.
Del Piero. He can score from there. We've seen it. Someone else made it. Emetrano. Played it across. Didn't get there. Offside.
Rossi there wanting to play that one out very quickly, but you can see him demonstrating with some of his teammates. They just weren't paying attention.
Davids plays it back. Baresi. Costa Corta. At least 3 out of that back 4, with the exception of Reisiger, played together now for several years from Milan. When it's Reisiger and Panucci back there, it's a pretty solid 4, with the exception of that lack of foot speed in the part of Baresi in the middle. 69th minute. Still scoreless. But a lot of exciting action so far. Dutch football comes back every Sunday. Next game, PSV versus FC Groningen. And Mike, you and I had the chance to see just how good PSV is going to be this year.
Yes, they look very good winning the Dutch Super Cup last weekend, although I must say that Ajax didn't really play the way that we know that Ajax can, but certainly it'll be good for Dutch football if PSV can push Ajax this season a little bit closer than they have done for the last couple of years.
Great sign for that goal. Flag went up. We might have had a foul there as well. Bowman's not happy. But then who is out there today? 10 players aside. Neither team has been able to exploit that 10v10 situation. Played long by Emetrano. Reisiger is the closest man to it. The last 2 years with Ajax after being loaned out previous to Volendam and Groningen. Del Piero doing his best to hang on. Foul was called. Albertini playing it across to Maldini for Davids. Simone trying to turn. Ferrara knocked him down.
And Ferrara's going to be careful. That seemed to be a straightforward tug. He's already got a yellow card.
Got him around the ear too. You can see Simone checking the jewelry there. That's his fashion statement. Here's Albertini. Ready to take this free kick from about 25 yards out. The 71st minute.
So he's got the back post waiting.
Right to the keeper. Keeper's low. Maldini was going forward as well. He'll get back in a hurry. He'll have to. Juventus off the left-footed ball across. Headed into the box and brought down. Here is Del Piero. Across, box it, saved. Did not get enough on it. And Jugovic is unhappy because he was making a run toward the far post. He may have been more open.
turn shot there on the turn from Boxic. As you say, he didn't get enough on it. It was well set up initially by Del Piero, but just before that there was a tremendous clash. And Maldini was involved there. Amatrano is the Juventus player. And both now requiring some attention as the play was allowed to continue, because Juventus certainly did have an advantage, did have the momentum going. But Boxic, looking back at that chance, will rue that, because they're the sort of chances that he was putting away regularly last year for Lazio.
Coach Oscar Washington Tabarez should have no trouble communicating. He speaks 4 languages: Spanish, English, of course Italian with his team, and French.
This was actually the team manager of the Uruguay national side from 1988 to 1990. He's had a spell over at Boca Juniors in Argentina before coming to Italy, and took over Cagliari in 1994.
Were you as surprised as I was, as Maldini shakes it off, that a team like Milan did not pick an Italian to coach them? After Capello, Sacchi?
Well, most people felt that Sacchi, as we see that shot from Boskic just saved there by the goalkeeper, that Sacchi would be out of a job by now, and most people felt that this is where he would be coming back to. So I'm just wondering if Tabarez is perhaps just keeping the seat warm.
Caretaking.
But it is a surprise, but it was a surprise when Fabio Capello was also appointed as coach. Everybody sort of said, Fabio who? But look at the success he had.
They don't say that anymore. 73rd minute, scoreless game. Milan and Juventus. Apparently Maldini and Amatrano are okay. Back for Peruzzi. Ciro Ferrara already playing with 1 yellow card. Tacchinardi had a yellow. Savicevic a yellow, then later a red along with Conte. 10 players each. No scoring so far. Penalty kicks if we're tied after 90. Quick restart for Milan. Davids. Maldini. From the left wing. Busted up. Ciro Ferrara. Knocks it across. Pesotto. This is Jugovic. Juventus resorting to that possession game. Both sides good at keep away. And then making a pass that's long that can penetrate, although that one did not.
The reason it didn't, because it was spotted nice and early there by Franco Baresi, who was in the ideal position. He reads the game so well.
A couple of years ago, there were rumors that Baresi was going to finish his career in Japan, but he stayed with Milan, and it appears that's where he will finish. Just involved with Maldini before. Amatrano. As you watch the replay, we remind you this is the Berlusconi Trophy coming in from San Siro Stadium in Milan, Italy. There is no score here. 1 player from each side red-carded, Savicevic and Conte. Along with Mike Hill, I'm John Paul Della Camera. The Italian Football Summer Series continues here on ESPN.
Well, we will get a result in this match. It has to go to penalties, and it's shaping up that way despite both teams creating chances. Both goalkeepers have been in really good form today.
Good position to play by the goalkeepers, and when they weren't necessarily in good position, it was the big reflex save. Ross is off Del Piero, the best from my mind so far. Lead pass down the right wing. Reisiger continues to go forward. Defended by Montero. Brought down. A foul ball.
Yeah, nice play here from Michael Reisiger, and he got away from Montero, but there's no way he was going to let it go past him. It's not the sort of skill you usually associate with Michael Reisiger. He's got the reputation as a good, dependable fullback, but we've seen some really nice touches of skills from him today. In fact, both the new Dutch players have impressed, both him and Edgar Davids.
Yeah, when you practice with Baggio and Real, you got to learn some of those skills. Looked like Nicola Amoruso, who was warming up. So we may see him soon. He's another summer transfer. Here's the free kick for Milan in the 76th minute. And in the middle,
Russo is the player who's going to come on as we see this header from Maldini again. Russo, another new signing, came from Padua, where he scored 14 goals last season.
You see Del Piero coming off the field. If he has a good year, maybe those sideburns will catch on. Or maybe they've already caught on. Not with the players, but maybe with some of the fans. So Amoruso is in for Del Piero.
That's the fourth substitution for Juventus. That's their maximum allowed.
Where he had 14 goals last year. Used to play with Sampdoria. Boxer busted up. Straight ahead down the right wing now. Maldini is there for cover.
AC Milan haven't used any substitutes tonight, which is a bit of a surprise because it's a very humid night, very hot night. And of course, AC Milan have an important game this weekend, the official start to the Italian season. They take on Fiorentina, the cup winners in Italy, in the Italian Super Cup.
Nearly 68,000 on hand, a new Berlusconi trophy record to watch one of these games. And preseason or not, it's a great, great crowd. Simone has nowhere to go. Amoruso. 78th minute. Di Livio can't get it. Slow to get up is Giuliano. Soto, number 3. Boxic headed it awkwardly, but he's got it now. 1v2 now against Baresi. Played it back. Shot blocked. Another try. Over the bar. Maldini was there defending. Amoruso was in. Tough on the first touch.
What a sensational substitution this would have been. Amoruso there. He's got 3 defenders around him. In the end, just toe pokes it. Tries to get his toe under the ball to lift it above the defender and also the goalkeeper. Manages to do that. Also plays it over the crossbar as well. In fact, final touch came off our Milan defender.
Corner kick. Rossi used every bit of that 6'6" height.
Yes, I thought he'd misjudged that initially.
I think he did.
Recovered well, though.
Are there cards coming here?
It was Paolo Maldini that time.
The spinorama move.
I think in his defence, Maldini there was really coming forward at a rate of knots. And then lost the ball and really just could not stop. Ferrara is the player who got caught and who's gone down.
His body stretched the way it's not supposed to. Watch.
Ferrara just got a foot in there and took the ball away from Maldini.
I told you that Napoli is going to be playing later on this week in a game against Bilbao, and this is the team Napoli that Ferrara used to play on when Napoli was a great side when Maradona played at Careca, going back late 80s.
Yes, things have changed. Since those days, Napoli, even a couple of seasons ago, were in all sorts of trouble. As we see, Milan now going to make a change with Stefano Aranio to come on.
Aranio is a national team player. Ambrosini is also coming in for Desai. Ambrosini for Desai, and Desai, again, for my money, has been one of the best players in the field this entire game.
Ambrosini, just 19 years old. He's joined a couple of seasons ago from Cesena.
Juventus with Jugovic. So 2 subs from Milan, their first 2 of the game. Juventus has used 4 as they play it long. Rossi's there. Rossi, 32-year-old keeper. Maldini. Edgar Davids. All the way back. time. We're about 10 minutes away from penalty kicks. Maybe someone will score. There's still a lot of offensive firepower on this field, and 10 players aside because of the previous red cards. That's Stefano Iranio, 20 caps for the national side, 3 goals. Down the right side, Reisiger, free for the moment. I think that hit Reisiger last. It was looking much like a corner, but it was touched off Reisiger.
Just looking at the players that have gone off for both teams now. I mean, if we're going to have a penalty shootout situation, AC Milan have taken off Desai and Boban, 2 players that you would think would certainly be qualified to step up to take penalties. Then when you look at Juventus, the players that they've taken off, Zidane and also Del Piero.
Good point. Of course, Savicevic, I'm sure, would take him, but they didn't take him out. He took himself out with a red card, and the same with Conte. And Bersini welcomes himself to the game, I guess, there with that foul. He took down Emetrano. This is Delivio. We're seeing Delivio in an unusual spot. Most of the time we've seen Delivio up and down the wings with great energy, but right now he's been playing more in the midfield, perhaps because of the 10 players aside. Tough to figure that out. It's back for Rossi. After a summer's hiatus, Mike Hill is back with World Football Report. Check your local listings for the exact time in your area. Still scoreless, 84th minute. A chance, Simone. Net was empty. Another shot. Finally. Iranio.
Well, a sensational substitution. Simone's shot there is blocked by the goalkeeper. And Iranio there turning that one in. That was an awkward angle and an awkward bouncing ball. He did well to keep the ball down. He did well to be able to drill that one into the back of the net. Simone there was stopped. And Peruzzi there, marvellous save. Couldn't stop it the second time though. And Juventus there were caught. Iranio doing so well. No wonder he can smile. The deadlock's broken, JP.
That is an incredible angle, Mike, for a goal. Big save initially by Peruzzi, but a great goal by Iranio. And how many times do you see a substitute player's first touch so awkward? Not that time. That was so fine, and it had to be. In fact, I think most people would have hit the side of the net with that shot.
Either that or put the ball way over the crossbar, but somehow he kept the ball down. But you've got to give a lot of marks to Marco Simone, the player down there. He's done so much unselfish running. He was denied initially by the goalkeeper. It broke in the end for Iranio.
That's the kind of treatment he's had today. He's had the jersey pulled and stretched to the point where he's wearing a new larger size. Kicked all over the place, but he came through. And Milan lead Juventus 1-0. Milan trying to recapture the Berlusconi trophy taken away from them last year on penalty kicks after Milan had won the 3 previous ones. Now let's see what they do. Can they just hang on? They're looking for another goal.
Yes, it's Simone there nearly opening up the defence again. Iranio was the player who made a run on the far side.
Costa Corta. That ball was way out. There's Marcello Lippi, 48-year-old coach. Can his team come back? And more importantly, can they come back, Mike, in less than 5 minutes?
Well, it's a tall order, but this is a funny old game, isn't it? And anything can happen. Juventus, I mean, they've created a lot of chances, although perhaps in the last 20 minutes or so, Juventus, with their substitutions, have really allowed AC Milan to get back in. There's 4 new players out there, and the cohesion that we saw earlier just isn't there. It's to be expected.
And Milan only made 2 substitutions and none at the back, so that back 4 is still together to try and protect this 1-0 lead. Here's a shot. Bounce right into the goalkeeper from Emetrano. Rossi has an easy one. Think back to that save Rossi made on Del Piero. That looms even bigger now. Rossini. Boxic. And there's nobody there.
It was a badly directed return pass. Alan Boxic there did well just to get the ball away from Maldini. He needed a much better pass back to him. He was running into a good position.
On the left side, on the clearance, Simone has it knocked away. And he can really frustrate you when you need the ball to score and they can play long, and he can hold that ball.
That's one of the strengths of his game. That's one of the reasons why he actually gets so many knocks during a game, is that he's always playing with his back to goal. He takes the ball face on as it comes out from his own defence. And he's so good at holding the ball up, shielding it, and then pushing it wide for midfielders coming through.
All the way back to Baresi. No lead is safe. Certainly not a 1-0 lead. But Milan knows how to play this style, this keep-away style, especially with a 4 there at the back. And David's still out there. They'd love to have Desai, but they wanted to make that switch. And if it were a regular season game, we would have seen a totally different substitution pattern for both sides. And to be honest, a different starting lineup in a few cases.
I think for AC Milan, it's been good news for them tonight. I mean, the new signings, Edgar Davids here has had an outstanding game. So is Michael Reisinger on the other side. You see Edgar Davids still battling away. Terror in midfield. He was for Ajax, of course, and for Holland for a number of seasons. But I mean, it's all looking good for AC Milan. The new signing seems to have worked. And when you think they've got George Weah and Roberto Baggio to come back into the squad, I mean, they're in a very healthy state. Costa Quarta is another player who's been around for a long, long time, but he's had a strong game at the back as well for them.
Reisinger from Albertini. We're in the closing minute, depending on injury time. There were a few stoppages in this second half. One that we remember for sure, the Maldini Metrano collision. Both were all right and resumed playing, and they're still out there. Boxic. Davids. Edgar Davids busted up. And a little extracurricular activities going on upfield. Davids was involved with Peruzzi. Look out here. That's still going on. The referee never saw it. I mean, when you hear the crowd reacting like that, you got to know something else is happening.
Half the crowd were watching what was going on at that end. The other half were watching Alan Boxic trying to get away from Franco Baresi.
Peruzzi was trying to be the peacemaker there.
There's Franco Baresi, 36 years old, but he held off Boxic there so well. He did it fairly. On the ball. Of course, a lot of people watching the action at the other end.
Baresi with a clearance. Eranio has the only goal of the game. It came in the 84th. Simone helped him out. Otherwise, we'd be thinking right now about penalty kicks, and we're in injury time right now. Juventus needs one in a hurry in order to set up penalty kicks. That's Marco Simone. No goals today. Actually, he had one taken away, but he has played a strong game as well.
Yes, he's worked really hard for AC Milan. The player who's under pressure as well, of course. He's got a lot to prove, hasn't he, with Baggio and Weah waiting to come in.
Might have been the most effective forward today. That's Delivio and Davids. Something said that Davids didn't like, it looked like.
There is a feeling around that Edgar Davids very combative in midfield, but players will tell you you can wind him up very quickly. He loses his temper very easily. And he really is going to be tested out this season in Serie A.
Juventus in blue. Looking for the goal that could send it to penalty kicks. They won't get it this way. Reisinger deflected out. Eranio on the throw-in. Ronaldo's only touch resulted in a goal, and a beauty it was. 1-0 Milan. We're about 2 minutes now into injury time. Eranio. Simone. Davids breaks. Oh, Simone with a rocket. That's not even close.
Well, if anybody deserves a goal in this game, it's Stefano Eranio's striking partner there, Marco Simone. And Eranio, they're trying to set up Simone. He really does deserve one.
No questioning the velocity of that shot, but the accuracy left a lot to be desired. Obvious foul this way. And Amoroso.
Strong at the back for AC Milan, just getting his shirt tugged that time. Nearly 3 minutes of stoppage time now, and I think that perhaps the referee might do well just to bring this to a quick close, because there's some niggly little things going on at the moment. Still Edgar Davids and Delivio arguing.
He just looked at the watch, so the end of the game should be moments away, one would presume. Albertini, another look at the watch by Ceccarini, the referee. Here's Davids. That's it. Game over. Milan are the champions of the Berlusconi Trophy. They win it by a 1-0 score. Eranio came on and made the coach look like a genius, Mike.
Yes, he certainly did, didn't he? But he'll be the first to recognise the contribution of Marco Simone. There is Stefano Eranio. Overall, though, AC Milan.
And the first time after losing it last year to Juventus. Present the trophy first. Runners-up, Juventus. Peruzzi, the goalkeeper, will accept it because his captain Conte was tossed out.
Well, Peruzzi had a good game for Juventus, as we were saying earlier. He's a player who really has grown in stature. Alan Boksic, well, he'll take time to settle in, but he'll score goals for Juventus.
Del Piero.
Signs that he's going to have a good season as well.
He looked good today. Previous games we've seen him, he has looked tired. Of course, he had a very physical year last year, then some disappointments toward the end, but a lot of people felt that it was a lot for him. He's still a very, very young player. Alessandro Del Piero, 21 years of age. We're waiting the trophy presentation. You can see what's happened in the past. Juventus won the first one and the last one until today, and Milan won the previous ones in between. It's been a trophy that Milan has almost owned, Mike, 4 out of 6 years.
Yes, it's a good start to the season, isn't it? I mean, they've got a new coach. They've now won their first trophy. They're going to be trying to defend their Serie A title. They also desperately want to win the European Cup. And Franco Baresi, who has won pretty well everything with AC Milan, including the World Club Championship. And he steps forward to receive the trophy.
He's picked up a few of those. Rossi coming up, raining pretty hard right now. It's interesting. We didn't see anything even drops during the game, and now look at this. Well, the players have a chance to cool off. Winners' medals going to AC Milan, winners of the 1996 Berlusconi Trophy. Edgar Davids played well, Maldini. Good team effort for both sides, a lot of good individual performances as well. And both of these teams are going to look good. Remember, they were 1-2 last year in Italy and could be the same situation again this year.
Yes, I think as we see Peruzzi and some interviews on the run here, I think the good thing for AC Milan is the two Dutchmen, Reisinger and Davids. They both have settled in very, very quickly. They are very much part of this team. Rain really coming down now. The players running towards the dressing room, and nobody picks up the trophies.